Greetings, I am GoldenWing, and welcome back to episode 15, Let's Play Space Engineers, where we have made it to space. We are there. Mission accomplished. Except for helmets. Here we are. Last episode we made it 46 kilometers, almost 47, from our original base, way down there. We discovered some really cool asteroids around. This one had nickel, cobalt, iron, ice, I think. But today I want to do a couple of things to the ship, and then we are going to go check out maybe the moon. I think would be cool. So I think I'd like to add more gyros to our ship. Might have underestimated how many. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That should do. Let's try adding the lights on. Believe it or not, the lights are on. Try adding some gyros. Can I put them here? Yeah. 4, 5, 6. So I can get 8. So the ship, when we were flying up here, turned a little sluggishly. So I'm hoping that by adding a bunch of new gyros, we can a little faster turning rate would be nice. So hopefully this will help. I actually added 8. We need a couple more there. Let's go add those into the other side. There we are. Now we have 16 new gyros. We'll see if that helps our turning rate any. Cool. Well, that's all the tinkering I want to do outside. So let's go back inside. Should have added an airlock here, but that's alright. We'll be fine. I did turn air pressurization back on. Hopefully it doesn't cause as much slowdown as we experienced before. Okay. Oh, yes, there was one other thing I wanted to do. I was playing with, and I wanted to show you guys this process. So we have a gravity generator on board. But we never really looked at it. I mean, I flipped it on at the end of the episode, but I'm going to set it down. So we've got the area it affects and its acceleration. I'm going to set it down at like 0.61. That's fine. But the area, I'm pretty sure, is way too big. So I've turned Show on HUD on. If I go under Info and I check Show Gravity Range, and then we go for a little walk, this big green box is the range of our gravity generator. I think if we go into Remote Access here, we can find the gravity generator, and we can thin out its effects. Doesn't need to be quite so big. Height looks good. There. See, so by trimming it down a little bit, that seems more reasonable. Now the gravity generator is centered in the space, so had I had the foresight to actually center the gravity gen within the space, we could save ourselves all of this headroom. And maybe we'll move it later, but for now, I think that looks a more applicable range for the gravity generator. Don't want it to be any larger than it needs to be. It'll just use more power that way. Which we've got plenty of, but no need to waste space. We'll turn that off. I'll turn Show Gravity Range off. There we go. Now our gravity generator will have a more reasonable range. Ah. Now that turning is better. Still wouldn't mind a little more in the way of turning. Let me add some more gyros and I will be right back. So, I just added 20 more gyros. We'll see how that does. Ah, that moved better. I'm more pleased with that. So, I think it's time to go off to the moon. So, we are still on course for the moon. I've gone ahead and re-added the speed mod. I had it off for a while, if I'm being fair. I was trying to figure out what was causing the lag we were experiencing building on the surface. I thought maybe the speed mod had something to do with it. And given that we were just working on the base, I had it shut off. But this trip is going to take forever at 100 meters per second, so I went ahead and turned it back on. I might disable it once we get to the moon, but we'll see. I rather like the additional speed, but if it's going to slow everything else down, it may not be worth it, you know, to keep on. We are cruising right along. Moon still is a good ways out, I think. I don't know how far, but getting about just over 71 kilometers away from our base. I will check back in as we get more progress. Well, that is 103 kilometers from our original base. Actually, correction, that's 115 kilometers from our original base. We've got to be getting close to the moon by now. Having said that, I think we've got a ways to go. Alright, we're getting close enough. I want to make a course correction. Turn on the hydros. Aim more in this direction. Turn the dampeners on. Just let it correct a bit. There we go. There's this nice ice patch on the top here, and I want to catch it right on the edge of it. That should help. I'd also like to land in daylight if at all possible. How far away are we? 170 kilometers from that orbital point we made. And we still aren't in the gravity effects. Just want to take a look. A nice big crater over there. Let's try and make some sort of a choice here. I mean, it's gonna look a whole lot different when we get down there, granted, but there's a Nice crater right about there, just above the miner. That looks cool. Also the one off to our right, the big one in the ice. That's not bad. Let's try going for him. Alright. I'm just going to quick save. And let's see how this goes. Get up to acceleration. Slow down a bit here. Yeah. Well, this is a lot easier to land on than Terra was. Well, this isn't bad. So I've come up a little higher from this the surface of the moon, Luna, to take a look around, and I think I am going to settle in that crater we first came to. Seemed to be reasonably large, relatively flat. We're going to head right back over here. Pick a nice spot to land. How about right up here? This seems reasonably wide open. Try and level up here. And there we are. Touchdown. Cool. Let's go take a look around. Helmet on. We'll leave that open. Haha, this is fantastic. Oh, and the view is amazing. Look at that. 167.87 kilometers from our base. Ship performed fantastically. Open up our toolbox. We can gain access to some stuff. That's cool. I'm really pleased with that. Alright. Well, I think the first thing I want to do is to get a bit of a platform laid out. Okay, so I've got a bit of a platform laid out. It's just 10 by 10 and it hasn't been welded. I can tell you I'm already missing the nanites. Been here for a grand total of like a minute. Unlocked pads. Okay, cool. Now, I want to know... I sort of want this pad to act as a landing platform for the speedwell. And since I'm doing that, I want to build the connector into it. I sort of want to know how this lines up. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay. Cool. That should tell me what I need to know. If you ever wanted to know why I built the base at Terra on Earth, there, above the ground on a platform, well, this is why. Because now I want to run a conduit here, and I've got to dig out a tunnel so I can run said conduit. Is that far enough? I'm not even sure. There. That should clear out plenty of room for what I want to do. Here's why I'm doing all of this. We can add a armored connector there, which I will get the rest of the components for in a minute. And then we can add tubes here. Start with a junction, and then we'll run conveyor tubes back like this. So the speedwell has everything she needs to process ore, store it, and that kind of stuff. She's even got Tim on board to manage everything. But we couldn't take everything with us. So all we need to do is connect the speedwell to a local conveyor system and then add supplementary systems. So if we wanted to, say, supplement the storage, we could just add a couple of big tanks here, and then the speedwell would manage everything, just so long as she's sitting on the platform. Also, I built this a little larger, so I sort of am thinking we might want to enclose it and maybe put a big hangar door on top of it. But step one is I want the speedwell to be able to connect to a local conveyor system so that I can start adding larger power, larger storage, and larger refineries. So let me try and get these built up, and we'll check back in. Okay, so we have that lined up. And as much as I would love to lay this out in a fashion that makes sense, I really just need this to work right now. So I'm going to bring this up. I just want to do... How do I want to bring this up? I want to do this. Just want to connect it to stuff. Yeah, you know what? That'll be fine. We'll do that. Weld this together. I need more interior plate, motors, and small steel tubes. Interior plate, motors, small steel tube. There's some motors. There we go. Nice. Now, let's put conveyor junction on top. That'll do. Need a bunch of stuff. Now, let's name this Moon Base Cargo. Tell Tim to keep components here. Ingots and ore. I think it'll know enough to correct that for me. Alright, and lower the piston. And lock. Fantastic. Let me turn some of the external lights on. There we go. Cool. So we should now be hooked up to our storage. Nice. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So we got that down. I'd like to put a few other kind of creature comforts, staples, if you will, down. Let's get a medical station down on the platform here. Let's also get a regular oxygen generator going. Let's see, how can we be smart about placement? Well, we could try putting it right side up. That would be helpful. A medical... You have to go in the bottom, don't you? Just have to. Alright. Well... Golly. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. Oh, of course I need an interior plate to build this. I mean, I knew that. We'll do this. We'll put the medical station there. Maybe I can get the oxygen generator sit. That'll work, right? Yeah. The oxygen generator there. Just enough so that we can, you know, make our own oxygen and respawn. I mean, we can respawn on the speedwell, but there we go. I did really want those white. Let's go ahead and paint them white. Nice. So now we have a medical station where we can respawn, and an oxygen generator. All of this stuff here, of course, a bit temporary. Got a nice platform built out. I'd like to get our miner moved over. Let's go ahead and turn on his engines. A little tight for him on the platform, but that's okay. We'll squeeze him in. Nice. Turn that off. That gets us reasonably established. Our Ship is tied in. I'm gonna run out of storage quickly. Let's think a little bit about how we want to build the base. We could build it elevated. Maybe the wall, and I don't know whether we'll build the walls out of a full block, but maybe the walls for this hangar that the speedwell is sitting in come up like this. And then maybe the base is actually built at this level, so that the hangar ends up being kind of in the floor, if you will. That would get us up a little bit. I'd like to build another solar array, but maybe straight up this time instead of going to the edge of the rim. If you guys have any cool ideas as to how we should build the base, you'll have to let me know. Sort of liking the idea of kind of building the hangar for the speedwell as if it was sunk in the floor. And by doing it this way, I don't have to dig out the ice to get there. I definitely want some more buildings, somewhere we can separate out the reactors. I'd like to add a few, more than one nanite control facility. Storage much bigger than that. Yeah. Maybe more than one hangar, too. We want somewhere to dock our little miner friend. And I'm hoping to build another one of them. Just as soon as we can locate some platinum, we can start making some new technology, namely ion thrusters. So we'll build a new miner when we get those. At any rate, that is about all the time I think I'm going to have for today. But thank you very much for joining me as always. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you have any suggestions for the base, please don't hesitate to leave a comment. Always looking for design ideas. So tune back in next time. We'll get more of our base built up here, maybe hunt around and find some platinum, put some cool stuff together, and all in all, just have an awesome view. Alrighty. Have a good one.